we have a guest. He is Mr. Benjamin Richardson. Mr. Richardson is one of the most intelligent, artistic, adaptable, insightful persons I've ever known. He also happens to be a great athlete. Here he is cycling in the Alps. He is the complete package. And he sits now where you hope someday to be. He started a company from scratch, and last year he sold it. He is now independently wealthy. Sorry, ladies and boys, he's taken. I don't know what he's going to say, but I suggest that you listen very carefully, as I only wish I had done many years ago in college. At that time, I was head down in the engineering books, and I couldn't figure out why Mr. Richardson was daydreaming, switching his major. Grow up and pick a major, bro. How wrong I was. While I was chasing the miserable gold star, Mr. Richardson was figuring out what he was interested in. He was discovering what he could contribute, what he wanted to do. So do as I say, not as I did. Listen up. With that, Mr. Richardson, you're on. Just give us a second to make some AV switches.
Let's make the switch. Thank you for the intro, while we're doing this. That's too kind, and I always look up to him for what he's accomplished and the intelligence that he's bringing. And all of you this semester have experienced the special talents and abilities that he brings and how much he cares for everybody in his teaching. So let me get this started, and then we'll jump in real quick.
Okay, just one moment.
I noticed the way that she carried herself.
Having her believe in me, but also give me very actionable steps.
The thing is this, Chief Richardson is real.
Should you work with Katie Richardson? A resounding yes.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, for a show of hands, who here would like to create more impact and income in their lives? Fantastic. You're in the right place. My name is Ben Richardson. I founded the company Puj with my wife 16 years ago. Today, I want to show you how to do just that, create more impact and income in your life by giving you an unfair advantage in business in the next 90 minutes. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So at the end of this short presentation, I'll give you three things. One is a very simple, profoundly simple maxims that when understood and practiced will virtually guarantee you success in any endeavor that you go after. Secondly, I'll also give you what I did to be able to acquire over 1 million customers. And lastly, I'm going to share with you how I gain an unfair advantage in business by creating unique products backed by intellectual property, which might be of interest to the group here. So let me just tell you a little bit of a backstory so you understand where we're coming from. So in school, Ryan actually alluded to some of this, that it took me a while to find my path because I was trying to follow what I actually wanted to do. For a while, I was trying to become everything that everyone wanted me to become. My grandfather was a doctor, my dad was an optometrist, my brother and my other brother become doctors, and my other brother's CPA. I was looking for something that could give me some letters after my name, and it eventually didn't happen. But I found that I like to draw, I like to solve problems. So I eventually found a degree called industrial design, product design. The problem was that it's already at the end of my junior year, and it's a 4-year program. But I decided to go for it anyway, and with kind of a smile on my face, but very anxious and nervous, excited, and scared all at the same time. And I was able to shortcut that and graduate in just 2 years. So it was 5 years at school versus 9 that it could have been. So this is where I began. I always wanted to create something, but the only thing that I felt like I had was the creative ability to draw and make nice pictures. And it just didn't seem like it had enough teeth. I want to be able to provide for a family, and it wasn't a real job. But I thought if I could develop the skill set to create something important, something valuable, to help people solve problems that they have in their life, I could figure out how to make money with that or create something later. I could develop a business around it perhaps, or find a way to make more money doing that. So fast forward 10 years, and I was able to participate in agencies, design agencies, where we're designing cool products for lots of variety of companies. You ever seen the Yakima car top boxes or ski mounts on top of cars? So I was instrumental in the whole rebranding of that a few years ago. And that doubled their box sales with the new rebranding. Also HP PhotoSmart printers, concept shoes for Nike, Burton snowboard boots, and on and on. So it's a really cool job until I was working in Portland, commuting my bus to Portland every day, and it was going pretty well until I got a phone call. And the phone call was really important. It was my wife. She was having a baby right now, and I needed to get home. So I'm excited and anxious and packing up my stuff. I remember I can't get home. I rode a bus, and the return buses don't actually operate for another few hours. So I'm going crazy, worked up in a sweat. I want to get home and be there, be the man, but I can't get home. This is before Uber, and didn't think of a taxi. Could have done a taxi probably. So I did what I always do. I call mommy. Talk about emasculating. I called my mom to come get me from work to come help out, be at the hospital with my wife. That was the day I decided that's not for me anymore. I need to have a little bit more control over my life. That was painful. And a few months later, after that instance of not being able to get home for the birth of my son, I was able to make it, but it was a hard emotion. It was a Christmas break, and I can remember clearly we're sitting in the kitchen, the Christmas lights are hanging, and there's a little bit of music, and it was one of the nights that was actually quiet because some of the kids were already in bed. And I sat down with Katie, I looked her in the eye and said, I'm going to create a product tonight that's going to get me out of the rat race. I remember that moment because it's really, it gets to us back by so much emotion and so much certainty that it was going to happen, even though I didn't know what it was. So let me back up a little bit. So a few months prior, we were trying to leave for a trip, and we had to get the kids all packed up. And just as we have the car seat, and go into the car, the baby has a blowout, just poop everywhere. Okay, sorry, this is just going to get a little graphic just for a second. There's poop up his back, there's poop down his legs, poop on the car seat. And I'm getting out of the car seat and there's poop on my hands. Like, okay, what? We're late, obviously we're late, it's already late, trying to get the kids out the door. I'm already sweating. And, okay, I gotta give him a bath. So I take him, I'm trying to get me any more dirty or soiled than I was. And in a smaller house, 2 bedroom, 3 bath. 3 bed, 2 bath. And we like baths. You'll find out later. I'm yelling to Katie, who you noticed I didn't introduce, but we worked together for years, and she's the other half of the business and the face of everything. Yelling to her, like, get the bathtub! It's in the garage, because it's too big to fit in the small bathroom we have. She's like, what? Get the bathtub! And still holding the baby like this, and she brings it in, and I'm taking the shirt off the baby, and just getting poop over his head as I'm taking the onesie off. And we put the bathtub in the sink, and try to fill it up. I put the kid there, and it is not going well. I just need to get him clean, but the kid's screaming because his primal instinct of like not wanting to fall, he's on his back on a cold surface, feeling very unstable. So it's a very, very interesting situation with the kid screaming, you're late, I got poop everywhere, and you gotta get clean. So we do it. Using one hand to hold him, the other hand to wash, eventually get it clean, and then take dry him off, and then try to empty this bathtub, and there's nowhere to put it. So I just throw it in the big tub. That's where it sits for until the next time we use it. So this is a very interesting experience because I remember asking myself, why is this so hard? Like, what's wrong with this situation? Because it's not working. And I'm kind of blessed and cursed with that question. That's what I live with all day. Like, why is this not working? Or that could be done a lot better. And it's just a constant thought that I have. So I'm thinking of this, but then as soon as I'm in the middle of that thought, your life comes back and you gotta get the kid dressed and in the car. Well, this is how I realized there was a really big problem there. And if we go back to that story that I shared with you, sitting in the kitchen with Katie and saying, I'm going to design a product tonight that's going to get us out of practice. I sat down with her, with our Christmas music going on, I said, I know what it's going to be. It's going to be an infant bathtub. It's going to make us millions. That doesn't sound like those two things go together, right? That sounds like, okay, this is kind of a crazy inventor. But I realized I could see the problem. There was the acute problem of trying to get the baby clean. And there's lots of people who had that same problem. And I knew there was enough people, and I felt like we could solve this problem in a way that would make our lives better for millions of people. So that's what we did. So today, let's pause right there. Today I'd like to help give you 4 years of business education in the next 90 minutes. Not tips and tricks, really important principles and perspectives that you can take and use throughout your life. So I hope with sharing a few of these stories and a few of these examples, you'll be able to pull out and extract really important lessons that can be applied to anything. Core principles, true principles. Okay, so let's frame the discussion a little bit today. What is the date today? Someone raise their hand and give me a date. What is the actual date? Yes, sir. December 6, 2018. Has this date ever happened before in the history of the world? Nope. No, it has not. Okay, what is unique about today? Any thoughts? No wrong answers. So, What's unique about today?
Last day of classes.
Okay, I love it. Last day of class.
Last day of undergrad classes.
Last day of undergrad. Congratulations. What else?
We have a guest speaker.
We got a speaker. Thank you. For me, I get to participate in this discussion. It's fantastic.
It doesn't have to be the same as yesterday.
It doesn't have to be the same yesterday. These are fantastic ideas. What I love about today is that it has never happened before, and it's 2018. If you think of what has happened in the history of the world to get us to this point, we live in a very unique time. One of the things I'd like to help share with you is that you can do anything. Anything. Like, in a moment's notice, you can control billions of dollars of infrastructure all around the world. Just a few minutes. You can spin up Amazon Web Servers. You can utilize all sorts of connected technology. You can instantly have access to anything that's ever been invented or knowledge that's been acquired, and you can use that as your starting point. Back before the printing press, right? You have many mathematicians who would pop up all over Europe, and they would produce a body of work to a certain level. Now it seemed to be about it. Another one would pop up over here to develop a similar body of work, but independent of each other. Today, we can quickly stack everything that's been done before. So as you're thinking about your next few moves, just remember, there's no barriers whatsoever. And it's a obvious comment, but it's also very profound if you really let that sink in. There's nothing that holds you back. Caitlin's working on carbon fiber technologies. You didn't have to invent that understanding, right? You're starting with decades of understanding of properties of carbon fiber and how to manipulate it for certain purposes, right? Yeah, it's fantastic, as an example. Okay, so you can do anything. What I'd like to focus on today, if it's okay, is like how to become an entrepreneur, how to start a business. Today you could become the world's best, highest paid employee. You can work part-time and travel the world. Very realistically, you can start a business. You can do nothing. And all those things are fine. But if it's okay today, I'd like to focus on like how to become an entrepreneur, because it provides the most leverage, the most freedom, and the most impact if it's done right. Is that okay with everybody? Show of hands. Okay, fantastic. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start with some definitions though, okay? What is an entrepreneur? I should have asked this before I threw up a slide, but who would like to read the slide for me? Can I get a volunteer? All right, what's your name, sorry?
James.
James, all right, thank you, James.
An entrepreneur shifts economic resources out of an area of lower and into an area of higher productivity and greater yield.
Okay, so this is not a definition of an entrepreneur, but I like this concept. He's able to take something that's underutilized and reorganize it and make it, to give it more productivity, more value, more purpose. I love this because really the creation process, the undertaking that you go through to create something from nothing or to reorganize things into something new. And that's how I always think about it. This is by Jean-Baptiste Say, a French revolutionary, and a student of Adam Smith. And I don't know how the smart guys that are French. Okay. Another concept about starting a business or becoming an entrepreneur. And the thing I think is really important to think about or understand is that entrepreneurs see over the horizon when so many other people just see what's right in front of them. But what is happening, and what does that look like just beyond our field of view? If you can see that and envision that, you can actually pull that vision that's obscured by the horizon of what we know, and you can pull that into reality through persistence, through creativity, through leveraging your work. It's really exciting. You can take something, undertake something completely new. It's not real. Not real. And you can make it reality. Okay? So, just let that sink in. Okay? So you guys are studying a little bit of some business interests, correct? At least peripherally. You're interested in how to utilize patent law as part of the business strategy. Is that correct? I just want to make sure I've got that.
Yep.
Okay. You're dealing with things that have not, in many cases, they haven't been fully created, or they haven't even been created. But somebody has looked over the horizon and figured out a way to fill a need in a certain way, and they want to protect that way of filling that need. That's really exciting. It's really valuable. And I'll leave the technical things to Professor Brown over there, but you're part of the creation process. Okay. So let me just, my dad, growing up, he'd always say, going to work is a pain in the butt. You might as well get paid well for it. Okay, that's a good idea, though. What do you do? What do you do to get paid well for it? I explained some of that. Like many times, be a doctor, be a lawyer, a real job, and I chose this path of becoming a product designer. And it was a bit of a struggle because of the pressure that I felt. Okay, real talk. Who here feels pressure from their family or society to perform at a certain level, do a certain thing? That's like 80–90% of the room, except for Mr. Green Shirt. Okay, it's real, and that's kind of useful. But there's also a part of you that you understand there's a pull or a drop, right? Does everyone feel that? There's something, you may not have identified it yet. I would encourage you to not ignore that. And it'll look different for everybody of what that means for you. But don't ignore that because it can lead you to where you need to go. Steve Jobs had a quote that said, part of his commencement speech at Stanford said that you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. And a lot of the moves that you make, you can't quite understand them and you can't quite explain them logically, but you feel it. And that's not a very good tactic, right? I'm not telling you this is how you do it. I'm just helping you understand that that's real. I believe it's real, and not to ignore it. Okay. Okay, after our real decision, sitting in the kitchen, with the kids asleep and the Christmas lights are on, and look at Katie and say, I'm going to create something that's going to get us out of the rat race tonight. And I think it's going to be an infant bathtub. Sounds like a brilliant idea. She said, okay. We sat down, and I started sketching it out. Anybody here like to draw? All right, fantastic, good. Does anyone here feel like they cannot draw? Yeah. I would love to spend some time with you because I believe it's a skill that really can be honed or expanded on really rapidly. But that's not for today. So I sat down and started drawing something. And I thought, okay, what is wrong with that situation, 4 months ago, where I got the kid clean, did the job, but it was a very unpleasant process. And the core temperature was reaching like critical levels. I almost had a meltdown. Okay, so let me just, what did you guys hear from me? Like, what was not working in that experience, just from the little thing I wrote or explained?
The fact that you had to hold the baby and you didn't have a place to put him down, and you were just struggling to manage to clean him and put him someplace.
Okay, fantastic. I had to hold on to him the whole time, and I just.
Seemed like the bathtub was kind of hard to maneuver, kind of hard to, because you had to just throw it in the bathtub really.
Yeah, fantastic. It's kind of bulky and awkward. Yeah, good.
The kid didn't feel comfortable or safe.
Yeah,
He's freaking out.
just freaking out. That was a good insight. All right.
Having been in the same situation, just ask yourself, there has to be a better way to do this.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks.
You're getting yourself spoiled as well as a baby.
Yeah, I was getting dirty. It's the last thing I want. Was there one more hand? No? Yeah, so all these things, you guys are great. You picked up on some of those important things from the story. And I kind of made a list. I don't like to do a list, but in school I had to be friends with the mechanical engineers. Didn't like that. And we did this capstone project, and the capstone project where we have an objective to accomplish for as a group project. And I was always a little bit more intuitive, but the engineers, they loved the lists. They loved the matrices. Like, you can do this and this and this, and we check off the one, and we pick the one that has the most features. That was the winner. And that's not how I approached it, actually. Like, I took all the things that it does, or didn't do, all the problems that I experienced, like what I wanted to do. I thought, okay, I wanted to cradle the baby. I want the experience to be really calming. I want to be able to hang this thing or store it easily. I want to be easily cleanable, the product itself, and I wanted to not get in my way. I could also probably put on there like a soap dispenser and a safety belt and a little mobile so the kid doesn't get, so he's distracted by the mobile. But I always thought that the best way to solve a problem is to solve one thing really, really well. This is so tempting, especially as engineers. Do we have any engineers as a background in here? Everybody, okay. All right. It's going to sting a little bit. You're going to be really tempted to want to put everything into a product. And that may be appropriate, but so many times it's not appropriate. You just really need to optimize for the one thing, and the other things become secondary or tertiary. So with us, I want it to be minimal. It was the number one thing. I wanted it to be an experience that was calming. And that led me down a certain path, and I also wanted it to store well, because I was kicking around this bathtub for the next few days. And then to bathe them again, I have to go to the garage and bring it in. As I sat down and sketching this thing out, I thought, how can I make this thing foldable or storable? And what kind of thing can transform shape from flat to thick volume? Any ideas? Like, I'm putting you guys on the spot, but is there anything in the world you can think of that collapses or goes from flat to open, that creates volume, that can change shape? Any ideas come to mind? Leather, Jackson.
Basic, like cardboard boxes. They start off flat, you can fold them up, and then also you have a box.
Fantastic. Great.
Ironing board.
Ironing board. Good. Caitlin.
They have to hold those satellite dishes to get into space, and then load them in.
Great. Okay. A 10. Okay. So if you were to take some of these thoughts and like, okay, can I take some of the things that are happening over here in satellites or cardboard boxes and maybe use some of those properties into a bathtub to get my storable features? Or for me, I said, I like the paper bag, brown paper bag. It totally folds up, and you can store it between your refrigerator and the cabinet. Is that where everyone stores it? I use the paper sack or paper bag. And then some origami. That worked for me. So we decided to optimize for a few of those features, and we did a quick sketch of this. And then I took some paper, and just one second, I'm gonna grab a piece of paper here. Okay, for a snow cone, right? Piece of paper turns into a snow cone with us. See, the kid, did you notice the bathtub in the movie? Yeah, and then it was flat. This was very unique at the time. It changed the bathing industry. But the point I'm trying to make right now is that when you start an endeavor, sometimes there's a feeling like I need to have $1 million to prototype my product. I need to get a team together. I need this, I need that. I don't know who, I can't. Like, that's a really big temptation, but all you need is a pencil and a piece of paper, and you can begin your creation, okay? It might not be a piece of paper, it might be straws, and we're going to carbon fiber concepts. But you can get started immediately. So that's what we did. And over the next couple days, we sketched it, made paper, made bigger paper ones, and then found some foamy type things. And eventually, over the next 12 months, we created something that was actually functional, that you could put the kid in, and it was pretty good. So I had enough awareness to say, okay, I'm going to try to patent this because I think it's going to be good. And I like to protect my little idea. And before that, I did that though. I had my neighbors and friends sign a little something called an NDA. I think that's a good approach. Had them sign a little NDA and have them test it. And the first 3 people we had test it, they didn't want to give it back. I said, I need it back, but I need to test it some more. So that was a really good indicator. And we continued to refine the product and refine the idea. And then, like, this is it. Let's go take this on the road. And so we found the best toy show in the nation, toy and baby show. And it happened to be in New York. And we invested all our little savings into this venture. And we put a lot of time into it. Like, this is going to be it. Like, this is going to be a home run. I know it. And we sent Katie to New York for the show. And we had a sales rep that we signed up with. She brought all the important buyers to the booth, all the baby boutiques. And they all thought it was very interesting. Asked Katie a lot of questions, like, has this been safety tested? Do you have insurance? What are the carton dimensions? What are the minimum order quantities? What's the pricing? What's the MSRP? Katie was there, but we didn't have those answers. So we had a lot of interest, but not one order. So at this point, this happens to everybody, right? Almost everybody starts with nothing. And that's the beauty of starting with nothing, is it develops resourcefulness. She comes home, she doesn't want to come home, because she knows that we put everything that we have into this idea. She comes home, and she walks in the door with a smile on her face, so I can tell how she's feeling. She's not wanted. Tell me how it went. But I know. And after she walks in and we have a little chat with the kids, and she pulls up out of her bag one large cookie. One chocolate chip cookie. It was the only thing she could bring back from New York. And then we split it with the kids. No orders. So later that day, we're in a cold garage, and we're standing there looking at the Hall of Shame prototypes, and I think we're done. Like that, I'm gonna go back and get a job at Nike or something because I think we're done. And she's really discouraged. And then we were just talking about it, and I said, Katie, put my arm around her, looked her in the eyes. They didn't say no. They just had questions that we didn't have the answers to. So what if we answered all those questions? They would all buy. I said, we're going to take it back to them with all those questions answered, and everyone's going to buy it. We'll be shipping these around the world, and it's going to be amazing. She said, that sounds crazy, but you might be right. So we did it. The next 12 months, we worked really hard to put everything into this. And what was I doing? I want to kind of just pause here. Like, it looked like we had failed, right? But what are you guys seeing here?
You were being persistent for one.
That's one of my top qualities. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, persistent. Also recognizing, well, yeah, that's a bit of resourcefulness. What did we have? We had market feedback, customer feedback. They liked it. It just didn't have these things answered. And now that I know the game, they couldn't order without those things answered. They just can't. Policies, legal stuff, whatever. So, a huge opportunity. Now I know exactly what they need. So we went back the next year to a different show in Las Vegas. And we were just even more committed financially and in every other way you can imagine. Fully committed. I don't know how Katie stuck with me through these things. I really don't. We did this together, but I was definitely the one pushing this so hard. We went to the show, in 2009. Does anyone, you guys are younger, does anyone remember 2009? What was it like? The economic climate? Does anyone remember? Yeah, it was terrible. It was so, you were in Iraq. Yeah, that might be worse than. Well, I got nothing now. You're in Iraq. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we went to the show. Everything's online. Praying that something's going to happen this time, that we don't just get smiles and interest and nothing, because we were fully committed. The doors open, and our booth was flooded from the minute it opened for 5 days, writing orders all day long, every day. And the rest of the show was pretty quiet. And it was our first foray into the industry. It made quite a splash. But why, I look back, why did it work so well? It was novel, it solved real need. It was the price point people could actually get to it at, achievable. And we had, all the boxes were ticked. It was just a no-brainer. So it worked. That was the success. We would not have had that success without that initial failure, we'll call it. The success was disguised in this trial. So if you're engineers, you know what trials are like. That's your life, right? But I'm just like encourage you to think like perspective, right? It's not failure, it's learning. Just learn. And now you can actually step forward and have a new perspective that you didn't have before. Right? Like think of that, that's really important. Think of what I just said, like you have one perspective here, and then you have an experience, and you have information and data and feedback, and you literally have a new, if you're up here or forward, you have a new perspective. I don't know, so I have that bad experience, and now I can actually see a different viewpoint. It's super powerful. So imagine that when you're coming up with your challenges, and you have all sorts of things happen to you. All right, by show of hands, who would like to be able to infiltrate the most powerful networks in the world? Guaranteed. Everybody except for a green shirt again. Okay. So before all this fun stuff happened, I was looking for a way to make it, right? Who doesn't want to make it? Everybody wants to make it. I'm looking around, how do I make it in the world? How do I get ahead? And I stumbled onto this idea of Canadian mining stocks on the Toronto Venture Exchange. They're fantastic. Little tiny stocks, 1 cent, 2 cents, 10 cents, and then tons of volatility. And, you know, reading stuff from people like, this is the way to make it money. Like, okay, I know. I believe you. Okay, so I decided I'm going to go do this. I go up to Vancouver, and I go to some of the resource investing conferences, and I see that like these people, some people are winning. Some people are winning this game, some people are not winning this game. But these guys are winning consistently. What's going on here? And I listened to one of them speak one time, and there's one thing really, really sunk into me. It said, if you want to win, you got to be in the room. You've got to be in the room to be in the deal. If you're not in the deal, you're out of the deal. And we're selling to you. Like, okay, that makes sense to me. I'm going to be in the room and deal. Okay? So I can see some perplexed faces, so we'll go a little farther here. Some of the people that were winning was very consistent. They're winning all the time. Why are they winning? Okay? Some people are winning all the time in business and life. Like, why are they winning? And a lot of times it has to do with who they're working with. I noticed that one of these gentlemen was teaching, he was traveling all the time, and I said, I gotta travel with that guy. I don't know what he's doing when he's traveling, but I'm gonna be there. So I went up to him after one of his lessons, speeches, and said, I want to travel with you. He's like, oh yeah, you want to travel with me? You gotta talk to that guy. He's the guy, gatekeeper. I want to talk to him, and he said, okay, you want to travel, huh? All right. Like, I don't even know what I'm traveling for. He does it, so I want to do it. That's how my mind works. And I go back to him and I said, yeah, I talked to the gatekeeper. He said, okay. But the gatekeeper didn't say, okay. He just talked to him. All right. This is where it gets good. Because I wasn't even talk to people. He gives his email address to somebody. He wouldn't give it to me. And I just still remember it. And he gave his email address like, under his breath to somebody, and I just like burned it in my head. I repeat it over and over and over. And after the conference was over, I said, hey, I heard you're going to be in Panama in a couple weeks. Me too. I'll be there. He's like, oh, okay. All right. Well, we might be there sometime. I said, just let me know. I'll be there. All right. Where's Panama? I know, but not really. But I'll be there. Okay. He said he's going to be down there in a couple weeks. And a couple weeks go by, I just check in my email and when I remember off the top of my head or off from the conversation. And he said, looks like we're going to be there next week. I said, great. But there's just one problem. My in-laws had just come to visit for the first time ever. And they're in our house. And they've been there a day. And I get the email from this gentleman. I said, okay. Close the laptop. I said, I'll be there. Close the laptop and go out to the family room. Pam, Laurie, it's been nice seeing you. I'm going to Panama tomorrow morning. I don't know what they thought of that. I don't know. Because my father-in-law is not. He just doesn't have surprises. Anyway, go to Panama. And I don't even know that he's going to be there. I don't know he's there. I don't know where he is. I don't know the city. And I don't have any way to contact him except that email address. That so I'm going to go. So I went. And I'm in Panama for 3 days and I have no contact with them. I'm just in the center of Panama. I don't want to be, you don't want to be too anxious. But, time's ticking. So finally I hear back. We'll be at Manolos tomorrow night, or tonight at 8. Join us there. They're so cryptic and short, this is so cool. I meet him there. He's there with a business partner. And the whole time I'm trying to find out what's going on. How's everything going? What are you guys doing here? And I got this much information from them. I'm talking like James Bond or Jason Bourne. But actually, they're the ones finding out about me. I got nothing. I got no information from them. So, but I did hear, eventually, through the conversation, that they're writing a book, creating a website, and a couple other projects coming up. I said, hey, my only skill is design. I can help make your thing look good. I can look at your book. I can just take a look at it, see if I can help. He said, okay. And I hear from them. We leave Panama. That's the only conversation I had with them. We leave. I thought, oh, that was interesting. Nice little trip here. But a couple weeks later, he said, hey, I'm working on this website. Do you want to help me with the logo? I said, absolutely. I didn't say, yeah, it'll be $1,500, $500, whatever. Absolutely. Send it my way. Did a couple of those jobs, and there always seemed to be there during family reunions, and I'm working through the night for free for who knows why. I don't even know these guys. And eventually, we develop a little bit of a relationship. He learns what I'm working on, and when it comes time to raise a little bit of capital, I just said, hey, if you happen to know anybody, this is what we're doing. Just let me know. So okay, we might know some people. And then 2 days later, I got a phone call from them, and I said, actually, we're interested. How cool is it? Okay, went from a guy that I don't know, that I want to travel with, to doing a bunch of free work for him during family reunions, and now he's potentially a business partner. And the cool thing is that it all happens naturally. So what I want to share with you about this is that if you want to be friends with people, be nice, right? If you want to do business with people, be valuable to them. If you want to be part of somebody's network, find a way to add value. And this is one of my primary questions in my life and my network, is how can I add value to this interaction without any expectations of things in return? This is super powerful. How can I add value? Okay, so let's just say, what are some of your aspirations? Like in work, like a job you might want, or the next move. Just like to hear. What do you guys, what's the next move? Who was graduating, or last day of undergraduate for you? What's your next move?
I'm going to go to master's school in fall. So right now, I'm just trying to decide where do I want to work for the next little bit, and if that will pay for my master's degree.
Okay, do you know where you're going to work?
It's hello for space or LLC communications.
Okay, cool. Why do you think they're hiring you?
Because they've got a lot of work that needs to be done. It's always a technical degree.
So you're able to provide some skill that they need help with. They're adding some value to their endeavor, right? That's the beautiful nature of school. You're learning some incredible skills. That's a fantastic first step, right? All I knew how to do was draw and make cool, like pretty pictures. That doesn't sound very valuable. But it is when it's applied to the right thing or the right person. So the lesson here is you can infiltrate any network, any company, any group of people if you can find a way to add value to their life, be useful to them, right? This is not, I just want to make sure it's not misunderstood. Like you're not being taken advantage of. You're not doing it to be manipulative. Like I'm doing this for you, so you do this for me later. It's just seriously being a valuable individual, and that comes back so much. Okay, so let's pause right there. Those are some of the stories, okay? We all want to be successful in life, right? Okay, when I first heard this concept, this really blew my mind. There are 4 levels of value. Does anybody have had a high school job before? What'd you do? Leather jacket?
I worked as a lifeguard.
Okay, lifeguard.
At Best Buy.
Best Buy. Did you raise your hand?
Yeah, call center.
Call center. Okay.
I was doing custodial.
Custodial. Okay. Great examples. What was yours going to be?
Landscaping.
Landscaping. Okay, great examples. All these are examples of level 1 value. Okay? There's 4 levels of value. There's 5 resources that you can use. So when I say we're adding value, this is a little bit, we're using the same word, but it's a kind of different discussion now. So there's 4 levels of value. And when you think about when you're going out into the world, this is super important. Okay? First level of value, the resource you have is your body, your muscles. Okay? And let's just say you can produce value from kind of minimum wage to maybe 80 grand, like a skilled mechanic or something. Right? That's kind of the range. Let's go to the level 2. Level 2 is like aggregation or unification. Okay? At this level, you're using the resource you're using is your management skills, organizational skills, to make sure that the people working level 1 are doing level 1 work, and then it's all happening. Okay? So this could be a manager like a McDonald's, maybe like 40 grand a year, up to like a nice level, C-level position at a big corporation, a couple $100,000 a year, right? That's kind of the range. Cool. Level 3, okay? Level 3 is where we use our mouth or our words to add value or to communicate a feeling. And this would be someone like an author or a speaker, an actor or a musician. Like maybe, if you're successful at this, maybe $100,000 up to, I don't know, what does an A-list celebrity make? Quite a few millions, right? 10 million, 20 million a year. At the top. This range is like totally wide open and the value is massive. But it doesn't quite seem fair. But the person who's using their mouth to produce value can make so much more money than the person who's using their muscles. Why is that? If you just think about this, like, why would that be? Any ideas?
They have leadership abilities, so they can make people do what they want them to do.
Powers of persuasion? Okay.
They have a much broader impact, so they're affecting like way more people.
Oh, okay, cool. They have a wider impact, you said.
Everyone has muscle. Most people are afraid to speak in public. I mean, that's the trade off your commodity.
Yeah, okay. Everybody has got, you said everyone has a body, and everyone has a body to speak.
People can speak.
Few people can speak, so it becomes more valuable. Cool. Okay. And the last level of value, number 4, the 2 resources we can use here, is our mind and money. And you're literally creating value from nothing. Like, just think of like a real estate deal. Like, you really don't do anything sometimes. You just put this idea and this idea together, and boom, out comes the value. Or creating a new product, something like this. Okay, and this one, there's no cap on this. But the thing is, the first thing that's obvious and frustrating is that the people doing the hardest work sometimes are the least compensated. But the other thing that's kind of mind-blowing is that it doesn't matter how hard you work in that particular level. Like, how hard can you work as a landscaper? Super hard. Does it matter at some point? Like, can you escape that level? No, you can't, right? So it doesn't matter how hard you work. Now, again, don't misunderstand me. Hard work is a critical component of success in any endeavor. But when you're in this level, you can't escape it. You cannot escape it. You can only work so hard, right? And you can only manage so much. But if you think about, where do I want to go with the talents and skills I have? You can position yourself in these different levels and create an opportunity for yourself. So I thought this was very profound when I heard 4 levels about it, because there really are, and it doesn't matter how hard you work. It actually doesn't even matter how good you are in some cases. Like, let's just take, does anyone know any violinists that are really talented? Not very many violinists, couple. How about blue shirt? Okay, do they do it professionally?
Yeah.
Are they successful? Or do they make money?
They're getting by.
Okay, getting by. That's kind of sounds like normal for a violinist, right? Even for very talented ones, sometimes there's a cap. They're super talented, they work hard, but it doesn't matter sometimes. Does anybody happen to hear of like somebody kind of locally, Lindsay Sterling? She's a violinist, but she uses YouTube and leverages her abilities. Like, what level is she working at? At least 3, right? And I'm not a violinist, but I've heard from people who understand it. She's not the best violinist, but it doesn't matter, right? In this case. So, interesting concept. And I think as you're planning your future, you can go ahead and plan. Where do you want to be? What level do you want to work at? Because when you're starting, okay, we talked about, I help you understand how to start a business, be entrepreneurial. I was going to share this later, but you're all developing skills, right? You're developing the ability to manipulate carbon fiber for certain purposes. Any other specific interest yet? Does anyone have any specific field of study developed? Okay.
I like control systems.
Control systems, okay. I don't even know what that is.
Rocket science.
Rocket science, thank you. Okay. Any others?
Fluids in confined space.
Fluids in confined space. That's a field of study. All right. I love it.
We just got a $20 million grant to the university to study this thing.
I love that. Okay, fantastic. So all these things are very specific, and you're probably very good at what you're doing. Right? We're going to work on the marketing skills, okay? PhD student. Yeah, okay. All right, so think of the 4 levels of value. You say you're going to start a business. Let's take another example of like a baker. Okay, knows how to make great cakes. Like, I'm a super baker. People love my cakes. I'm going to start a business. And what is the typical route of someone who starts a business? They're a technician, right? They're implementing the thing, usually for somebody else. And they say, I'm going to do this for myself. And they go to start a business, and what do? They're implementing this thing. They're putting fluids in confined spaces. And they keep doing that thing, even though they start a business, but they're still doing what? What?
Ants.
They're still using their hands, they're still being a technician, they're still baking a cake, or still, whatever that thing is, controlling the pockets, I don't know. But they never actually leverage their work, right? Never develop a system. One of my dad's favorite sayings was, if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. Who's ever heard this saying? Okay, it may have worked. It works. It works, but there's zero leverage in this. All right? If we want to develop ourselves and produce more impact and potentially have more income, we have to leverage our work. So how about this, a better truism, right? Yeah, if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. That's true. Is there a better one that can help me serve me better? I like, if you want something done right, create a system that can be done by anybody that can't be done wrong. Now I'm free, right? Instead of doing everything myself, baking the cakes, putting fluids in spaces, I create a system that can be done over and over and over. You see, any scaled corporation, this is what happens. That's why you're able to work at Best Buy or McDonald's or whatever, because it's been systematized and you have no skills whatsoever except you have a body. Okay. Ryan, how much time do we have? Or I have
25 minutes.
Okay. Let me share with you one more concept, and I'd love to take some discussion if there's interest. Okay. Talk about 4 levels of value. We talked about being a technician versus an owner. If you want to have success, there's people already having success, right? Right? This concept was popularized by a guy named Chet Holmes, who wrote Sales Machine. I can't remember it, it's off the top of my head right now. But he popularized this idea of Dream 100. He's trying to sell advertising, and he was looking at people buying advertising in magazines. He said, why don't I just create a list of my 100 dream clients and just pitch them and get them to buy advertising in my magazine. Long story short, it totally worked and turned that division of the company around from one of the losers to the best performing. What is this strategy here? We call it the Dream 100, but let's use that term, Dream 100. Okay, you want to do something, why not leverage your work? Okay, so you could keep doing stuff on your own, or you could decide, like the 3 corporations you want to work at, and you could just send them messages and show that you can add value they need to provide value, and you can get there, like, almost certainly, and you can provide it. Okay, in my case, business, selling baby bathtubs. I could go and sell to the guy down the street, and the guy down the street, and the guy down the street, and sell like 5 or 10 at a time. But I said, there's no way this is going to work for me, because I need to buy 10,000 at a time to get the cost down. And how can I sell that many? Any ideas? It's just
You hire a salesman.
hire a salesman. I'm just playing with you. That's a good step, but I need a way to sell 10,000 at a time. So maybe that's what you're getting out the salesman. But where am I going to sell it?
Find a place where these things are sold more at the beyond, or
Sure.
maybe like a Babies R Us or whatever the equivalent is, Amazon.
Yeah. Absolutely. Find out, like, for me it was like the top 10 places that would really be able to help us generate some volume. And I remember the first time we targeted Babies R Us, and it's the first time we actually got the product set up on their website and started selling. And from like nothing with them to $450 a week just on that one website. So that was part of my Dream 100 strategy too. And I'm not worried about all this other stuff. So that's an example like how to business, but it works in anything. If you want to publish as a PhD student, I don't know, I think you do that, right? Where do you want to publish?
Health science and technology.
Okay. Right.
I mean, information would be cool.
So it sounds like you have 2 targets.
Yeah.
At least. You just find out what they need, and you will, that's no problem, right? Okay, so That's a Dream 100 strategy. It's a little taste of it, but it's super important, okay? What I'd like to leave you guys with, like the final thought, is same one I started with. It's like we live in a time when anything is possible. Anything is possible, especially when you understand different levels of value, you understand that it's not a problem of resources, it's always a problem of resourcefulness. If you're not getting what you need, it's because you're not resourceful. You're not using your resourceful nature. And remember to leverage your work instead of keep baking the dang cakes. Like how many cars would be on the road today if Elon Musk was still like assembling series of batteries together and like putting together chassis? There'd be no car, maybe one Tesla on the road. Sure, there wouldn't be any rockets in SpaceX if he was hammering in rivets to the rockets, right? So it's a very obvious example. Remember, leverage work, be resourceful, be persistent. Remember, anything is possible, and you have the world in your hand. That's what I have for you guys. I'm happy to present anything you'd like to talk about. I'm happy to spend time with that.
I shouldn't take this time. Suppose one family, one is working a job, or one is in school, taking on their type. What were you doing those 2 years when you were prototyping those and answering the questions that stores needed to have answered before they could buy? Were you still working in another company? Were you burning the midnight oil on this, or did you set everything aside and just say, we're all in, let's see what happens?
I was definitely working part-time. I went from full-time, and as I developed the idea, I needed more time, so I found an arrangement where I could work over this time less and less and less. And this thing takes off by the time I'm not working at all, or not very much. So, question, how do you get this done?
Yeah, my question is, how does the handoff work? Like you have this, you don't have any cash left.
Yeah.
So what are you doing in the interim? Of course, you're living off savings if you have them, but are you still working? How are you? I guess balance would be the wrong word because there's no balance, right? But what are you doing?
You've got to find a way to have income or revenue somehow, right? For us, I work part-time, and what I didn't tell you, a little baby sling that was high margin, low cost, and very fast to produce, and it's produced in the States. And that produced like 60 grand the first year, and that helped provide us some living expenses and invest in some of the patents that were on. So I would always encourage a way to get to revenue quickly, because we always want to just like make it perfect. But it's always better to get to revenue, and especially to get some profit going.
Did you say 60 grand a year was the profit, or that was?
That was probably 48 grand profit.
Okay.
Yeah, first year.
Where are you working all the time?
I worked at some different design agencies. One was called in Portland, Oregon.
So they don't have any property agreements where they own everything you create?
I wouldn't sign one of those,
Okay.
and only app or anything like that.
So for most engineering companies that we're going to get into, we sign away what we create. So we have some strategies to get around that, that we work part-time or full-time to be able to make these products. And even when we create our own, so how do you run our job?
Some people ask me, should I try to go out and actually I always recommend systems that'll give you a little bit of money to do. So those things, I don't know if it's legal or not. I always keep those things in the back of your mind. And if you have something that's really important, maybe you switch to a different job out of this thing.
In the first day, we're still safe, but these are ubiquitous. So that's a warfare, you just have to win.
Yeah.
So save up for a while.
So you offer to switch a job or raise some money, but that's not likely until you have something.
So I'm just wondering how you originally took just in the scraps that you had in your garage and moved that to mass manufacturing and an actual, I guess, sellable product.
Yeah, that's definitely